Hi, I'm your host, Karen Miranda. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side. We are coming to you live at the local scene in Plymouth, Massachusetts. I'm going to start a drawing because there's people from the other side that are going to be guiding my hand. As I will be sharing some experience I just had recently, but I'm going to get going with a sketch, and I'm going to see who steps forward for for a spirit reading. I have a man here who's stepping forward from the other side, and I'm not very good at drawing army hats, but he was in the military and stuff like that. So he's coming through, he's stepping forward, and they started guiding my hand. And the lines are now open, so feel free to call if you would like to have a spirit reading and hear from a deceased loved one. But he passed away when he was over serving in the services. But he's telling me to say whoever he is for, my death was not in vain. He actually helped save some of his people that were in his unit. He was very proud. His hair was cut really short. He said he's at peace, and he actually helped save somebody's life when he was overseas. Army man, very proud. And the lines are now open, so feel free to call. And I'm going to be talking to you about an experience that I just had last week. It was at night, and around 9 o'clock at night, and I said to my daughter, I feel really weak. And all of a sudden, I just laid down on the table, and I said to her, somebody just passed away, not knowing who was around me because of where I'm a clairsentience medium when you feel the presence of the deceased loved ones in your room. So, not knowing who, sure enough, the phone rang the next day and somebody had passed away. And I said, all right. And somebody said, I'm going to come over. And I said, okay. So, anyways, in the meantime, my daughter Michelle was outside, and when she was outside, I was calling her name, figured she might be in, because I saw the phone walk away. And that was like, all right. And I called her name out, Michelle, Michelle, is that you? And no, it wasn't. It was the deceased person that passed away in the kitchen walking along. Sometimes I'll see a phone or object that they owned. And just before she passed away, she was trying to call somebody for help. And I said, all right. And so I really couldn't help you, but I will let people know and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, I was still calling Michelle's name, and I looked in my bedroom. And there I saw a shadow forming. She was like a little bit taller than me, with, very light hair, and things like that. Her death was spontaneous. And she was trying, like I said, trying to text somebody on the phone to let them know she needed help. Either it was just before her death or when she was passing away. Because sometimes when I get information, it's not always clear with them. So I had to learn to trust what I was getting from people that had passed away. So when I saw the shadow and things like that, I said, all right. And so she's saying, you know, I'm fine, but my death was really quick and unexpected, but I'm fine. And she wanted to let somebody know. And this just recently happened. And I'm going to start drawing, but this is the man I have that's on the paper. And things like that. So I just wanted to share that with you because it's partial mediumship is the hardest form of mediumship when you see like partial things of, you know, and the symbols, you know, like I was happy about her showing the phone to me because she was trying to text somebody that, no, I need help, you know what I'm saying? So I just had to give that to you and things like that. Could last year was around this time of the year too, and it happened to me a year before when I was looking out the window and it was around 12 o'clock at night when all of a sudden I saw these pant legs walk across to the ocean because I live right down by on the waterfront. And I just saw a man's legs walk across the street. I said, well, he was out enjoying a nice summer stroll from the other side and things like that, and let me know he was there. And I said to Michelle, do you see that? She said, Ma, you know I don't see what you see. I said, okay. And stuff like that. So I said, all right. And I said, you know, thank you for letting me know you were there and enjoying a nice summer night. And that's sometimes really hard when I don't fully see them formed. It just depends on how strong their energies are and things like that. So I just wanted to share that little piece of information. So if you ever see like the phone with the girl, if you ever see something like that, it's probably your loved one coming through, you know, and stuff like that from the other side, or somebody you don't know and things like that. But, you know, it's usually like symbolic, you know, with the phone thing and stuff like that. And I'm going to start another drawing and things like that. And this is the soldier that was coming through. And the female that was with me, she had darker brown hair. And the soldier actually, he had light blue eyes and blonde hair. But of course, when you go in the service, he, you know, had cut it short and things like that. So just to let you know that. But you never know who's going to show up in my world. And there's something I want to share too from the past, because things do connect sometimes with the present and with the clairsentience part of the gift. When I was on my honeymoon, this was going way, way back, and all of a sudden I felt this uncomfortable feeling that I wasn't alone at my uncle's cottage. And I looked at my husband, I said, could we go to a hotel? Not realizing that what was going on with me, because I've had the gift my whole life, but, you know, just feeling I know there was somebody there. They weren't mean or anything like that. And so I said, okay. And he looked at me and said, okay, Karen, if you don't want to stay, we can go to a hotel. So we went to a nearby hotel because I had friends coming by. We had our friends coming by. And so when we went to the hotel, the strangest thing is when we left my uncle's house, there were no lights on in the house at all. And I said, okay, at the cottage. So when we got back, sure enough, the outside light was on, and I just looked at my late ex-husband, and he looked at me, and we said, yep, I knew there was somebody around. Remember from when I was a child, when I made my first Holy Communion, and I'll share that story with you in a minute, but I just said to myself, oh, past really does connect with the present, and just to let you know that too. But somebody was around in spirit on the other side, And I just didn't know who was around me because I was only feeling their presence around me when I was really little. And I was getting ready to make my first Holy Communion. And all of a sudden, I was getting dressed in my attire, and I said to myself, okay, I'm not alone. Somebody's over there in the studio. See, they're stepping forward, so feel free to call. And so when I was doing that, I heard a knock. Let's call. I ca- now. Hi, call. You're on the air. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side.
Hi there.
How are you tonight?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Can I have your name?
Yes, Elena.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Huh?
Elena.
Elena? Hi, Elena. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side.
Yeah. Thank you.
How are you doing tonight?
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah. I just wanted to ask, say to you, your friend is still around. I know Elena and stuff like that, but she's so happy and so still bubbly and full of life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And she just was like, I still have my popcorn in my hand. You know what I'm saying? When I go into the movies and everything like that. If that's making sense.
Wow.
Is that making sense to you?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And she's saying to say that to you. And she can't stop smiling because she said, I was so thrilled that, people continued. She's saying, I know you guys were sad when I died, but she's got all her beautiful looks back.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and she's not alone over there on the other side. Just so you know that, because you were kind of wondering to hear from her more, Elena, tonight.
Good, good.
Yeah, because she's saying to
That's
me,
great.
yeah. Could you speak up just a little louder?
I don't know whether we're not getting a good signal.
Yeah.
I have you on speaker, but I don't know why.
That's why the audio is a little bit, and stuff like that. But yeah, she's saying to say that. And I also see her, out in nature and enjoying. Did she out at the beach too?
Right.
If that's making sense to you?
Right, it does. It does.
Okay, yeah, because she's funny. She said, I love collecting shells, and I love, soaking my feet in the good sand in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
And she's so happy she could move around and not sick anymore. You know what I'm saying? This is making sense.
Absolutely.
And she's saying to tell you that I'm just so glad I don't have any more breathing problems.
Right.
If you can understand that coming from her.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, because she was like with the breathing, and she's just so happy to be mobile again. Just a little bit of confusion with her just before she crossed at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
But she became very alert just at the very end of her crossing, too.
Yeah.
If you can understand that coming from her. She's very kind. I see somebody with you that's flying kites over there on the other side, too.
Really?
Would you understand somebody flying kites?
No.
Okay, so I got to ask that person to back up. But I have a younger energy that's around me tonight, too. But I'm going to go back to your friend, and she's saying, I'm just so glad I'm at peace. And she said, Elena still needs to hear that I'm at peace, because I know she's come through before, but I was glad she is given extra information. That's when we mediums have to do our work and say, okay, you know what I'm saying? And she's collecting shells, and she loves listening to the ocean and like a conch shell or something, if that's making sense to you.
Yeah, it does.
She's listening in from the other side to you with the conch shell up to her ear.
Right.
And she's like the tide going in and out is her message to you. I'm like the tide going in and out. And I just couldn't fight the fight that I could anymore in the body I was in.
Right.
And she said, I'm feeling that somebody else is around you, a male. I'm getting a little taller and statued. Dark brown hair, brown eyes, I don't know if this is making sense to you so far or not.
I'm not sure.
Okay, but I'm getting the average height of a fellow like around 5'6". That's coming in.
No,
Huh?
no, no.
Okay, so let's go back. But your friend is the one that's coming in the strongest tonight anyway, so I'm going to stick with her a couple more minutes if that's okay.
Great.
She's wanting to wish,
Absolutely.
she's wanting to wish somebody in the family at the end of August a happy birthday.
Mm.
It could be over somebody that she's with on the other side, though.
At the end of August.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know. It was my husband's birthday, but I don't think she would know that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And your husband is actually all around you tonight, and he's telling me to tell you, because he's starting to step forward a little bit. I've been trying to show her the signs, and that I'm with you, like with the flickering lights and different things. And
Right.
that's them too. They play with electricity, and also the swish with the cold breeze. And he's learning not to help people so much over there like he did when he was here.
Oh, yeah.
And he's learning to kick back and stuff like that. And just that would make sense to you because he worked hard with his job. But you know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, and he's just like he's sending big bear hugs to you.
Yeah, I'll say yes.
That would make sense, right?
Right.
Yeah, and he's just saying. He's saying, I've been trying to let her know through the signs and symbols that I'm around her because he's sharing his memories with me right now with you. And I've been doing that at home, but sometimes he said, you know, he's just like this. You know what I mean? And stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's with your friend over there, the woman that was coming through with that.
Oh, yeah? Oh.
They're together over there on the other side.
Uh-huh.
And they're enjoying a good movie, by the way. Just to let you know
funny.
that I had to give that to you, if that's making sense.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's funny because he's just saying, you know, I'm fine. I couldn't do it anymore in the unhealthy body I was in, where he was really sick before he passed away.
Right.
And does that make sense to you?
Yes.
And things like that. And he's saying to me to tell you that. And he's happy about the car. You know, I know you had a bunch of collection of cars, but there's one in particular that was his favorite, if that makes sense to you, because you like to drive, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And this is why it's coming in like this, because he's given me that piece of evidence, because I see, you know, cars, but there was one in particular car that he loved to drive.
Yeah.
Yes. And he's just too funny. He's like, she's still thinking about me. And he's saying, again, his message to you is not to be so sad about me passing away, you know. And I know you're still very sad. You still miss him very much.
Yes.
And things like that. And he's saying to me, I can breathe a lot easier. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And I have somebody that's was in the service for you that's on the other side too. You know a male that served on the other side that's in the service?
Now in the service?
Okay, because I'm going to let him back off and I'll finish with him afterwards. But
no.
Your husband's just sending a lot of extended love to you from the other side.
Oh, thank you.
And he doesn't want you to be sad. And I don't know if this is making sense to you, but I see your friend with balloons. There's something about balloons that somebody from the other side loved to have with birthday parties.
I don't know. No.
Yeah, so I'm going to give that to you, but I got to put it out there. So think about that. But, you know, just your husband's sending you signs from the other side that he is around. And that's just that's not just you being okay. I'm feeling a cold temperature in the room. He just wanted me to tell you that it's him.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Elena. I don't know if you have any questions for me, but that's who I'm getting. But the two of them are together. And I'm seeing dancing with somebody over there too. Okay.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. And just celebrate and celebrate their life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what they would want if they were here. And your husband's told me to tell you he's still enjoyed a good game of golf.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because it was just so funny about the golf. Because I see all these golf balls, you know what I'm saying? That
Right.
are, I don't know if you still have the golf balls from him or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because she said not only does she have one, but she has a lot of them.
Yeah.
And that would make a lot of sense. I'm thanking your husband for that special piece of closure. And he is listening in when you talk to him, by the way.
Uh,
And he said it's just so much easier to breathe and all that good
tell,
stuff. And I
tell
don't
him
know
I
if you,
love him and I miss him terribly.
yeah, and I don't know if you have any questions for me.
Uh, how often can he do a visitation?
I'm
Or does
sorry.
that take a lot out of him?
Okay. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you
Really
for.
appreciate it.
Oh no, I'm the one that feels very blessed to share your loved ones with you and your friend, because she's been like a power of energy coming through lately, like a powerhouse, because she was like that with her energy when she was here.
Right. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
When you're at the beach, think of her because she's listening in with the Kong show. It's like
Okay.
the tide going in and out.
That sounds wonderful.
Oh, that's wonderful. And thank you for sharing.
And thank you again.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Good night.
And check on the birthday because it's somebody's birthday at the end of the month. It could be on the other side, okay?
Right. Well, just terrible. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Have a good
Thank
night,
you.
Elena, and go out and
You
enjoy the
too.
nice summer
Take
night.
care. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, sometimes they'll do that. Like, you know, I know I've talked to Elena before, but sometimes what happens, we mediums, I asked the Reverend one time when I was in development class, I said to her, what if they come back? She said, well, then it gets to be a lot of fun with the gifts. Then you have to get that extra piece of evidence. I said, oh boy, that you wouldn't know about in a reading. And I said, all right, that's just so good to know. And I'm going to get going with another drawing, and I'm going to finish up this man a little bit too. But I just never know how people, our deceased loved ones, are going to come through on the other side. And sometimes it could be just like a little information, but it's the biggest validation, you know, from the people that passed away. Because people really don't realize it takes a lot of energy for them to come through from the other side. And he was quite the looker, this man that I'm drawing on the paper. Just to let you know that I just got to fix him up a little bit. He's very proud. And he actually helped one of his friends survive, actually, because he saw the battle on the grounds. And he actually helped somebody to survive. And then when I was getting back to earlier about seeing symbols and everything and the partial mediumship, like the girl that was in my kitchen, sometimes it's the things they own. They're just not deceased loved ones that are fully formed. And she knew she was in trouble. And she's telling me to say that, but you know, sometimes the deceased people could let you know they were in trouble, and they let you know like after they passed away, because it just depends on how the energies are with them. Like I said, I'm not very good at the helmet thingy, so I'm just going like this with them. Sometimes you'll see my hand shaking or something during a drawing because they're guiding my hand right now with the pencil. And I'm going to put the American flag next to him. Very proud. I was in my middle 30s, he's telling me. And this isn't an old death either. And I'm going to put him up to the TV screen again. And to getting back to the clairsentience part of the gifts, earlier when I was mentioning about my Holy Communion, when I was getting ready, like I said, I heard the knock on the door. I said to my mother, I'll be right down. She said, and then I heard nothing. And my mother said, Karen, are you almost ready? I said, okay. Then I realized I wasn't alone. I wanted to say, can the extra company come too? And she said, so I didn't say anything. So when I got to the church and I met up with my group of friends that I was making my Holy Communion with, I said, and we all lined up because back in the day, it was, kind of old fashioned way. I don't know how they do Holy Communion now, but we lined up in rows, like the girls were on one side, the boys were on the other side. And when we were going into procession into the church, all of a sudden, as the music got louder and louder, I said, oh, the extra company is here too. And so when that happened, I said to myself, okay, I'm going to try to be as normal as I can. Being a kid, I didn't know what the heck was going on with me. So what had happened was I went to kneel and say my prayers, because, it's your special day, you're being in a, communion dress and everything like that. There was a nun in front of us, and she leaned over to me and she said, there's something very special about you. And then I said to myself, I wonder if she could feel the extra company too that's around me and stuff like that. And so I said, I left it at that, and I thanked her. I appreciated hearing that. The past connecting to the present. Last year, I was on my way to Stop and Shop with a good friend of mine. And all of a sudden, I said to my friend, do you know anybody who died from a blow to the head? And he was really, really young when he passed away. And she just looked at me. She said, Karen, we haven't heard from Billy in like 50 years. And he had passed away. And I said, well, why don't I wait till you get off the road so I can explain to you more of what was going on with me? And she said, okay, that sounds good, and I just never know who's going to show up. Well, anyways, what had happened with the blow to the head is he had passed away in a car accident due to the impact with him. And when I gave this information to her, she said, why after all this time? I said, there's no time frame with our deceased loved ones on the other side of when they're going to come through, how they, they're just learning and growing and evolving over there because you do learn and grow. So I gave her the message. She was so happy that this person came through for her. And I thanked her very much for sharing him with me. And he was very young when he passed away. And I just don't know how spirits are going to present themselves. And sometimes you want to hear from your deceased loved one so bad that you just get like, you can block it, believe it or not. There's this block on this wall. But, you know, you never know. Once you learn, you know, to open up a little bit more, then that wall becomes unblocked. I have a young girl that's coming through, and it was the one that I was just talking about a little while ago, and she passed away in her 30s. Her death was sudden. And where her death, her passing was sudden, she just wanted to let her family know. And sometimes a deceased loved one, when they come on the paper, like I know that they're guiding me right now to draw, and I just don't know, but I did find out sometimes if a deceased loved one comes through on the paper a second time, they're just trying to get the message across to their families. And I'm always learning and growing too, because I never know how deceased loved ones are going to present themselves when they come through. So that's when the trust issue, like I've said to you guys before, she had kind of like a bob haircut. Very kind soul. And if you want to know anything about mediumship, feel free to call the station at Spirit Communication. And she's saying about her tummy, I had an upset belly and things like that to me. And I'm just doing a little extra sharing of the spirit art to me, to you tonight. And she loved to wear earrings, and she had pierced ears. And she said, "Give me more hair." I said, "Okay, I'll do that." But in a fun, loving way. And when a loved one passes away, it's okay to be sad, because grief is you know, it's your own personal thing. It does get better though. You know, when you know, like you hear me say, never peace, because a lot of times people want to know, are they okay? Are they at peace? And they are. And I'm going to go a little darker with her hair. Beautiful thick hair. And remember, if you should, when you're at home and you smell an unexpected scent of perfume or roses or cologne that they have had, that's what they like. They're just letting you know through symbols. We are here and we are with you. The other day, I never know how deceased loved ones are going to present themselves to me. The other day when I was out walking with Michelle and it was broad daylight, I said to Michelle, "Did you see that?" And Michelle said, "No." And then we had a set of, we're not alone, we had a set of white footprints during broad daylight walking in front of us. And I've seen that on and off throughout many years of developing as a spirit medium, and I'm just like thinking that's really cool. But I couldn't see the full person of who they were that was in front of us, but the colors were really pretty with the white feet. And sometimes people want to also, in the spirit reading, want to hear from somebody, but they don't always come through. It just depends on, who's stepping forward from the other side. And it just, you think the message could be for you. And this has happened to me before in the past when somebody came to me for a reading a while ago. And they said, "That's not for me." And I said, "Check to see if it's somebody you know and things like that, or somebody who might have just recently lost somebody who passed away." And they said, "Okay, I'll do that." And what happened was she called me up the next day. Sure enough, this was so-and-so that I found out and did the investigating like you said. And sure enough, it was a friend of my friend's that passed away. So that can happen with mediums too. Sometimes you have to be the person that delivers the messages too. And these are just bits and pieces that I'm sharing with you guys tonight. In spirit art, how it came to be. One time when came to Plymouth, actually, I went on a tour down in Plymouth, actually, believe it or not. And I had this lady come through from the 1800s. And, I've had done some sketches before that. But all of a sudden, I had this lady, coming on the paper and things like that. And I said, "All right, I don't know who you're for." So my friends called, "But do you want to go on this tour down in Plymouth?" I said, "That would be way cool." I said, "You know what? I'm going to bring my drawing with me," and stuff like that. So I did. And when we met with the tour guide, she said to me, you know, I'm going to get going. But I said, I said, okay. And I said, I have something I want to show you. And she said, okay. And so when I met with the tour guide and my friend Andrew Frank came up with me at the time, we were up walking on Leiden Street or something like that, which is where it's the oldest street in America. Or I didn't even know that, so I learned a little American history to myself. And all of a sudden, I felt like we weren't alone, and I felt the presence of children playing, and children have passed away near the house that was the Spooner house, and I said, oh, and things like that. I don't know much about that, so I had to make sure I gave you guys the right information. So it felt like they were playing and stuff like that. She said they were, and I said, oh, okay. So she said, the tour guide said to me, Karen, I'd like to see that picture. And I said, okay, here you go. And what had happened was, as I said to her, I wanted to, give this to you, but it might be a younger version of her, because sometimes, like I told you in the last episode, sometimes the deceased loved ones will come in looking younger. And she said, I got something to show you. So she took me inside the house, and I couldn't believe it. It was the woman in the drawing with all the shading and everything like that. Was like, oh my God. And she said, I ended up giving her the drawing. But the past connecting to the present time was, I went on the tours again last year with my friends, and they said to me, all right, and I said, you know what, I have a couple of, drawings I did. And of course, I was up till 2 in the morning. That's when I do my best work, is in late at night, whenever you guys are probably home sleeping. And so I said to I said, I'm going to bring you on the tours tomorrow. And I said to my friends, I said, I got some drawings to bring along. They thought that was really cool and stuff like that. And I said, a little boy and a little girl were on the paper. And I had just the backs of the little girl I had the front of the little girl. It was just a little girl, actually. Sorry about that. And she's coming like that really fast. And she said to me, all right, I'm going to give you to the tour guide. Again, and it was funny. It was like, God, last time I went was like in 2015 or something like that, years later. And I said to her, can I ask you a question? She said, what's that? I said, hi, caller. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side.
Hello. Oh, my God. I'm so excited I got through.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I was hoping to get
you sitting back enjoying the nice
there.
Are you sitting back enjoying the nice summer night?
Absolutely, yes. And I was just listening to your
I got a drawing here for you, and I don't know if you're going to recognize who's in the drawing, but I wanted to show it to you before I got going with your drawing.
Yes.
Do you understand who's in the drawing?
No.
Okay, but
what?
I have to tell you.
Yeah?
Your mom is all around you.
I've been feeling that she's been around this past week.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that.
Is your mom on the other side?
Yes.
She passed away?
Yes.
And she's all around you saying, I'm very proud of him and stuff like that. And she said, telling me to tell you, I'm back in my younger girlish self, and I'm sitting back enjoying a cannoli.
Oh, my God. That's her.
If that makes sense to you.
It does make sense.
I can't say it on the air, but she's being very colorful with the words.
Yes.
But not in our language, but in a different language. Would that make sense to you?
Her. Italiano, yeah.
Yeah, because I love her energy. She's coming in so wonderfully. She was so kind and nurturing and caring towards everybody that's around her. If that's making sense to you.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And she was a real mom to you.
Yeah, good.
And I'm feeling at one time Did she have hair down to her shoulders at one time? But as
Yes.
she, huh?
Yeah.
And as she aged, she cut it shorter.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, and she's happy. I had cut it really short, just at the very end. This would make sense to you.
Oh my God.
But every
Yeah.
single piece of hair that she had left on her head had, if that's making sense, had to be perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, every curl, because I feel like the old style perms.
Yeah.
Does
It was her always getting curls. Yeah.
does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
Oh,
It does.
she
Her hair was
can't
straight,
stop.
but she was always having a curl.
Yeah, don't give me any information, but she can't
Oh, all
stop.
right, sorry.
She can't
But
stop
it's funny you
smiling.
even say that. That's too funny.
She's so
Yeah.
happy and bubbly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Bless
stuff
her
like that.
department. She's
She's
awesome.
keeping everybody in line over there because she's sharing her memories right now with me and stuff
Wow.
like that. And she was like, even though she's saying I was the real breadwinner of the family, and that would make sense to you.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
I'm getting somebody has an anniversary coming up in the beginning of September for you. It's on the other side.
Yeah, that's my mother and father.
Oh, see, don't give me. See, there he goes, guys.
Crazy.
Giving
Are
me
you
information.
No,
But
I'm sorry, but you just brought it out, and I can't believe it. She just had
yeah.
her birthday, and
Would
oh
you
my God.
Would you also understand a military man that was in the army?
Definitely, yes.
Yes, because I do have a drawing. It's just how they interpret it to me, because I was saying at the beginning of the show, I don't know, but he was an American that served. I don't know if this is making sense to you.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say anything, but you're spot on.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you're saying.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but you are absolutely spot on. Yes.
Okay, because I'm feeling military man, had some medals with him because he was honored.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
He's with your mother over there,
Oh, God.
if that would make sense to you.
Yes.
He's
Am I supposed to even respond to that?
Yeah, because he's telling me that you were his favorite.
Yeah. That's my uncle.
Oh, that's your uncle. Oh, don't.
Yes, and he was in the military, and I got all his...
Don't give me any information. You know better. That's a no-no in my world.
I inherited all his
he's like
medals.
sitting there going,
I can't believe
he
you
was
even
very
know that.
proud. And he was good looking when he was young.
Yeah.
And he said he hated that he lost some of his thinning hair. Would that make sense? Because his hair thinned out a little bit as he aged?
Yes.
And he said, I'm glad I have my whole head of hair back.
Oh my God.
And it was beautiful, thick hair too, because I'm kind of feeling like, you know Elvis Presley, right?
Yeah.
And I'm feeling he wore it slipped back like when he was young, though.
Right.
And I'm seeing a comb with him in the back of his pants because he liked to have the comb handy to brush his hair. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, and he's very heavy on the foot, by the way, over there.
Yeah.
With the driving, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
He got some driving tickets. He's telling me to tell you. Does that make sense too?
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's so funny. He's so funny. He said, but at least here I don't have to worry about getting stopped.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just so funny. You know what I'm
They
saying?
used to call him Leadfoot. That's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, is that being quite comical? And your mother's like sitting there going, oh, just looking at you going, oh boy.
No,
but this is her personality coming in with me right now.
This is very, very touching, yes.
Yeah, but it's funny because they're having one big happy family reunion over there. And they're sitting down with a nice Italian dinner too, if that would make sense to you.
God.
And she's making me.
That I miss.
Your mom is making me hungry, by the way.
You ain't kidding.
Yeah, and things like that. And I'm smelling all the smells from the Italian food, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
100% Italian.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But
that's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's saying my throat is all like because I'm getting kind of the sensation with my throat just before
Yeah.
she passed away. Had a hard time getting the words out. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very hard for her. It was hard
It
for her to
was.
swallow. You know what you
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
she's saying to me, "I'm so glad I can eat a good cannoli again with
Oh
a
my
spot with a
God.
cup of tea, sitting down and
Right.
enjoying
Oh
this."
my God. Yeah.
Yeah,
Excellent.
sitting down enjoying the soaps. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
That would make a lot of sense
It makes
too.
all the
And
sense in the world. That's amazing. Yeah.
and she's
Yeah.
with your uncle, and he's kind of funny because he's trying to hide the scratch tickets.
Oh my God.
If that does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes 100%. Wow, they got them over there too, huh?
Yeah, they're being just so funny. And then there's another male with you, but he's just saying out of the picture, you know what I'm saying? That would make
Yeah.
sense to you. So I'm not
Yeah.
having him come forward if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your mom is saying, I'm fine, and I have all the animals with me over there on the other side.
Yes.
And that would make a lot of sense to you.
It makes a lot of sense. Yes.
Yeah, and she's just so funny and stuff like that. And she said, he was hoping to hear from me.
Really?
Yeah, and I just had to give that to you. But
Yeah, that was.
that's who's around you is your mom, your uncle, and your grandfather.
Uh, yes. Hey, I just want to say this is. Listen, I know I caught you at the end
Yeah.
of the show, but this was all
Oh, see, there
very
he goes again, guys. Give me that
personal and
information.
beautiful.
I'm going. I don't want to know anything. I have to
Look
have
at
my
this was
graphic put
personal
up in the
and beautiful. It
studio.
was very
But
touching.
they're all together over there. And I'm seeing mom with jewelry, like a set of. Does she have like a? I'm getting a cameo. Does she have a cameo?
She had a cameo.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let her.
Showgirl.
Yeah, I can't understand if you're understanding the information with that part of it, but she did have a lot of. She didn't have a lot of jewelry. You would understand that.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, she always was in her jewelry box and her
Yeah.
makeup.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah.
Telling me all the information.
Oh no, but
If I was in the
you're
studio,
bringing
I'd
it
zip
up
your
to
lip
me,
in a
so
fun
and it's so
way.
great.
But I'm seeing a hope chest with your mom.
Yeah.
Does she have a hope chest?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah, because everything is all neatly tucked away in the hope chest. And
Yeah.
I see the prayer books there too, her prayer books.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
But she's so thrilled to death. I'm not praying for anybody anymore. Because it was like a litany with her, because when people cross, parts of which prayers are important when they first pass away, but any time, she said,
Right.
yeah, and the prayer books are still here.
Yeah.
Yes, and she's so happy about that. And she's also saying, I'm just so happy that my knees are not bothering me anymore, because I'm over here getting ready for a night on the town to dance up a storm.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Does that make sense?
It makes all the world of sense.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and the other thing
Amazing.
she's also learning for her to tell me, and it's coming in like this because she's speaking a lot clearer, is
Yeah.
she is really funny when she said
Yeah.
to me, I'm learning not to volunteer as much.
God.
And I have to leave you with that, but they're all around you from the other side, extending
Oh,
lots
that's
of love.
beautiful. Well, that's all. You made my night. I appreciate your time, and that was very heartfelt.
Yeah,
You're
but I have
awesome.
to let you go. But
Yes,
that's her message
definite.
for you. I'm fine, and I'm dancing up a storm, and your uncle's sitting there with all the scratch tickets. You know what I'm saying?
Right on
And
the money. Right
yeah,
on the money.
and I have
Yeah.
to give. He said that's where he gets it from me.
It's so true.
So
Hey, thank
I'm
you
going to
so much
leave
for
you
your
with that. And
time.
happy birthday to somebody in the beginning of September.
Yes. Yeah.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much for your time. What excellent show. I appreciate
Thank you
your
for
time.
sharing,
Thank you.
everybody.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. I love when they do that with me because they share their memories with me and things like that. And you guys at home, I know you get excited, but that's what we call feeding the information to the medium when you start getting excited, like the last caller, right? The caller I just had. Yeah, I know you're excited and you want to give me the information, but I would rather not have any information at all. If you want to share afterwards, it's okay with me to, if you do share afterwards with me and things like that with people that are coming through from the other side, but just during your reading, yes, if you understand or if you don't, because that's how I was taught by the Reverend during, and it takes several years of study, because I was in development circle class for at least a good 10 years and stuff like that, and it does take, a lot of energy for them to come through and just to, deliver everything, the messages with that. You know what I'm saying? So just please don't give me any information. And I just had to share bits and pieces of like, tonight with you guys at home, with how deceased loved ones are coming through from the other side to share, their memories with them. Because I love when they do that, because it's their memories that they share and the fun things they love to do, like the last caller with the scratch tickets, and the caller before that, Elena, with the golf clubs, with the golf balls. I thought that was really cool. And it was just, and I feel very blessed that you guys trust me to deliver the messages from your loved ones. And just remember, like, sometimes it's a spontaneous death, like with the girl in my kitchen that was trying to get a hold of somebody to let them know that she was in trouble. And if anybody can understand that, feel free to call the station to let them know. I know who that is and stuff like that. But just to let you know that it's spontaneous and things like that. But she's fine. She caught up with family on the other side, just to let you know that. And it's the hardest form of mediumship. And I do want to tell you guys, if you have thoughts of suicide, there is help you can get out there with the text on the phone. I know sometimes it gets rough, but there is help, and you're not alone. There's a lot of wonderful resources out there, for you guys to get. And during the summer months, please don't drink and drive. If you have a little one too many, please give your keys to a friend, because you could hurt yourself or another person in the process without having fun. And I just want to thank everybody at home for welcoming me into your homes. And I want to thank the 2 callers that called tonight. Thank you very much for sharing your loved ones with me. And our loved ones are gone but not forgotten. And just a thought away, extending lots of love and light from the other side. And if anybody should understand drawings, I have them here with me safe and sound. And have a good night and go out and enjoy the summer weather and and just enjoy. Life is really too short. Have a good night.